Some weeks I keep the curtains closed past noon. The kettle's cold, the dishes start to climb. I tell myself the oldest, meanest tune, that I was whole and lost it one more time. And I look up and find the window pane, the moon worn down, a sliver thin as thread. It doesn't beg the dark for one more grain. It'll fill again, it told me in my head. I'm only moving through my phases, silver to shadow, full to none. I don't know the night an even glow. I wane, I rise, and I'm still the one, still the same moon when the light is gone. Last April I had basil on the sill. I swore I'd never sink beneath the gray. And here's the dark come knocking quiet still. But now I name it whether not to stay. So I leave the curtains open overnight. I let the cold blue lay across the floor. I'm not broken, I'm just out of light. The way the moon goes missing, then comes more. I'm only moving through my phases, silver to shadow, full to none. I don't know the night an even glow. I wane, I rise, and I'm still the one, still the same moon when the light is gone. No one asks the crescent why it's small. No one waits with anger for it to mend. It just turns and gives back all. The dark was only halfway, not the end. So let me be a sliver for a while. Let me be the dark side, unashamed. I'll come back round, I'll come back full, still the same moon, by the same old name.
You were 6 the year I learned to read. The little storms that crossed your quiet face. A door slammed soft to supper you wouldn't eat. I used to take it personal, give chase. Now you're 16 and darker some weeks than most. You vanish in your room behind the door. I used to knock and argue like a ghost. Now I just mark it quiet like before. I keep your faces like a moon, a calendar of dark and light. I don't ask the new moon to come back soon. I just leave the hallway bright and wait for you to turn some night. I've watched enough to know the shape it takes. 3 days down and color in your cheek. I stopped mistaking weather for mistakes. I stopped demanding answers when you're weak. You are not mine to fix, you're mine to learn. A sky I read but do not get to steer. You'll wax, you'll wane, you'll dim and you'll return, and I'll be here the same. Year after year I keep your faces like a moon, a calendar of dark and light. I don't ask the new moon to come back soon. I just leave the hallway bright and wait for you to turn some night. They're not my child, the old books say. Their life's on longing, passing through. I don't own the moon, I only watch it sway. I only keep the dark and light of you. So go dark, kid, I won't take it hard. I've got your calendar inside my chest. I'll leave the porch light on across the yard and love you through the dimming like the rest.
First year clouds came down like a lid. We stood till 2, our breath in frozen threads. The second year the sky was clear, it hid a solar quiet, nothing overhead. 2 flights, 2 winters, all that savings spent, and not one ribbon green across the black. My friends all asked me if I felt I I'd been, and I just smiled and didn't answer back. But twice I went north, and twice I learned the sky owes no one what they came to see. Something in the empty hours turned and gave me what I didn't think to need. Twice I went north, and it changed me. I learned to stand in cold without a prize, to want a thing and not be owed the want, to lift my face to plain and starlit skies and let the not arriving do its work and not. For half of what we chase we never hold, and still the chasing files us down to bone. The aurora that I missed twice in the cold taught me how to love a thing I never owned. But twice I went north, and twice I learned the sky owes no one what they came to see. Something in the empty hours turned and gave me what I didn't think to need. Twice I went north, and it changed me. It isn't what you look at in the end, it's what you let the looking make of you. I looked at empty sky and called it friend, and came back south with something cold and true. So if you go and nothing lights the night, don't write it down as money thrown away. The sky stayed shut, and still it set me right. I saw the most the nights it would not play.
She kept a candle going every night. For nobody, she said, for the look of it. A little gold beside the kitchen light. And I would tease her, told her to forget it. Yeah, she's 2 years gone now, I cannot stop. I strike the match the way she used to do. Same windowsill, same saucer, same soft drop of wax that pools and hardens like I do. So I still light one every night, the way she'd want the window kept. A small gold square against the dark, a promise that I never quite have kept, that I'd let go, I haven't yet. They say that grief is love with no signal sending out and nothing back. We're standing here a little less bereft. I feel her in the small flame on the black. The dead don't leave the way the living think. They thin out like a candle, not a door. She's in the gold, the wax, the saucers bring. She's in the striking more and more and more. So I still light one every night, the way she'd want the window kept. A small gold square against the dark, a promise that I never quite have kept, that I'd let go, I haven't yet. The loved are not so able to be gone. Love is a kind of staying past the cold. I light a candle and I carry on. And she is 25 and I am old. So when I go, leave one lit for the two, beside the window where we used to stand. And let whoever finds it know it's true. The dead are just a small flame in your hand.
The captain dimmed the cabin for the climb, my forehead on the cold and humming glass. The city fell away, a spill of lime and amber beads, then dark and grass. I'd spent the week so sure my troubles weighed enough to bend the whole world out of shape. But from up here the street lights softly frayed to scattered stars with no one to escape. There are constellations on the ground, every kitchen window, every car, and somewhere down there, small and warm and round, my own lit room is just another star. The lights below are stars from far. I found my street the way you'd find a sign, a river bent, a stadium, a square, and there a single window I could shine. Every grain was someone holding tight. There are constellations on the ground. Every kitchen window, every car, and somewhere down there, small and warm and round, my own lit room is just another star. The lights below are stars from far. We name the ones above and call them fate. We never think the ones below are art. But every porch light burning, every gate, is someone drawing pictures in the dark. So when I land and walk back through my door and flick the kitchen on against the cold, I'll know that from a window high and far, I'm one more star, one grain of yellow gold. You went so quiet halfway through the spring. The joke stopped first, and then the words went thin. I'd reach for you and feel you flickering, like someone turned the porch light low within.
I didn't leave. I want you to know that
I was right here behind a kind of dark.
something passed in front of where I sat and took the light, but never took the spark. It's only an eclipse. The light's not gone, it's crossed. Something moved in front of us, but nothing here is lost. Wait with me and you will see the light comes back. It always comes back. They told me grief and illness work like this. A shadow slides across someone you love. You panic at the cold, the sudden miss, but it's the moon, not lost, that's moved above. The trick is not to mourn me while I'm here, not to bury what is only dim.
beside the dark and hold it near. The sun behind it never once went grim. It's only an eclipse. The light's not gone, it's crossed. Something moved in front of us, but nothing here is lost. Wait with me and you will see the light comes back. It always comes back. And when it does, it won't be like before. It'll be new, the way the morning's new. The sun that rises isn't yesterday's anymore. It's made again. And so, my love, are you? So mark it on the almanac in pen, the day the shadow finally moves on through. Don't fear the dark that crosses now and then. The sun is new each day, and so are you.
For 7 years I saved the same green jar, coins for a flight to where the cold lights burn. I taped a postcard of them to the door, a green that I had never seen would learn. Learn the names of months the sky goes dark. I learned to read the forecast for the sun. I didn't know the saving left a mark, that I was changing long before I'd gone. It was the long way north that made me, not the night I finally stood and stared. The waiting was the green that came and saved me. I was someone else by the time I cared. When they came, they poured across the black, a slow green river folding through the air. I cried, but not for them, for looking back at all the patient years that put me there. Prize was standing in the snow, but the prize was every smaller, colder day. The me who saved the jar, who longed to go, was the gift the lights had given on the way. It was the long screen that came and saved me. I was someone else by the time I cared. So if you're saving for a far-off light, don't wish the in-between would hurry past. The road is doing something every night. The arriving is the smallest part and last. I keep the empty jar beside the door, a little green still taped, beginning to tear. It wasn't for the lights I crossed the north, it was to meet the man who got me there.
I saw it on the drive home, all alone. A white scratch down the windshield of the sky. I pulled over on the gravel, killed the phone, and watched the place it was, and said goodbye. They say you wish on those, and so I tried. But every wish I made was shaped like you. Not here to see it streaking at my side, the way we used to, parked when we were new. So I saved the wish for you. I held it in the cold, the one I couldn't say into the blue, with no one's hand to hold. I made it anyway and let it go. We used to lie out on the hood in June and argue what we'd wish and never tell. You said the saying breaks it like a tune. I always told you mine, you knew it well. Tonight there's no one's here to break it on. No warm and laughing, why won't you just say? So I just watched the light and it was gone, and carried what I wished for all the way. So I saved the wish for you. I held it in the cold, the one I couldn't say into the blue, with no one's hand to hold. I made it anyway if you see one fall and you're by yourself, don't save the wish for company that's gone. Make it for the missing, for the self, and drive back home and keep on driving on.
We weren't even looking at the sky. The blanket and the thermos and your hand.
A streak of white went tearing low and high.
Too fast to point, too fast to understand.
They say you get a wish, but not the time.
There's half a second, then the dark again.
No words, no breath, no reaching for a rhyme.
Just something rising up from way back when.
And I knew before it burned out, I knew what I would say.
Not the thing I'd practiced, not the loud,
the quiet one I'd hidden away. I knew before it burned out, I knew.
I didn't wish for money, didn't wish
For years, for luck, for somewhere far from here.
the truth came up too quick
To even finish
It just said,
this,
it just said, keep
him near. Funny how a light that lasts a breath
can show you what a lifetime kept in doubt.
you don't decide, there isn't time for that.
The warning says itself before it's out.
And I knew before it burned out, I knew what I would say.
Not the thing I'd practiced, not the loud,
The quiet one I'd hidden away. I knew before it burned out, I knew.
so I never said it.
Didn't need to now.
The star had pulled it up into the light.
You squeezed my hand, you
Somehow knew, somehow
we made the same wish, looking at the night.
if you ever want to know your heart,
Don't ask it slow, don't give it time to lie.
just watch for something falling far apart
And catch what leaps before it sky.
I was 8, my first time off the ground. My mother in the aisle seat, pale and still. They gave the window seat to me and round. The world fell sideways, tilting past the sill. The houses turned to stamps, the roads to thread. The cars were ants that someone set to crawl. I pressed my nose so hard it went half dead. I didn't blink, I didn't speak at all. Nose against the glass, the whole world's small. Everything I fear is down there too. My school, my street, the bully in the hall, all of it a model someone drew. Nose against the glass, and I just grew. I'd cry that week about 100 things. Test a friend who wouldn't say my name. But up there, watching how the whole earth swings, none of it could find me all the same. My mother thought that I was scared to fly. She held my hand, I let her, but the truth was something opening behind my eye, a bigness I would spend my life to prove. Nose against the glass, the whole world's small. Everything I feared was down there too. My school, my street, the bully in the hall, all of it a model someone drew. Nose against the glass, and I just grew. They tell you don't let anyone make small your wonder or your asking or your eyes. I learned that at 8,000 feet, that's all. A kid who wouldn't look away from skies. I fly a lot now, I'll see asleep. The window's just a wall, I pull the shade. But sometimes climbing out I take a peek, and there's the boy, nose pressed, the world he made.
You go out every season in the gale. Some war, some work, something you have to chase. I used to grab the rope, I used to wail, and try to drag you back to safer place. But you don't need a hand to haul you in. You need to know which way the harbor lies. So I stopped pulling, stopped the noise, the din, and lit myself against the lower skies. I'll be the one that doesn't move, the light you find when all is gray. I cannot sail this storm for you, my love, but I can stay. I can stay right here where you can find your way. A lighthouse doesn't run into the sea. It doesn't swim to save the ones that drown. It only stands and burns and lets them see the line of rock, the edge of the town. For years I thought that love meant pulling hard, that if I didn't rescue I'd be less. But there's a deeper love that just stands guard, a fixed, unmoving, lit up faithfulness. I'll be the one that doesn't move, the light you find when all is gray. I cannot sail the storm for you, my love, but I can stay. I can stay right here where you can find your way. And if you choose the storm again tonight, go on, I won't go dark, I won't go cold. I'll trim the wick and keep the window bright, a masterpiece of staying, growing old. So sail your seas and chase your distant war. I am not the wind and not the wave. I'm just the light that's always by the shore, the one that doesn't move, the one that stays.
For years I was the steady one, the sure, the one who didn't move, who kept the flame. You sailed your storms and I'd be there before you found your way back, calling out my name.
But no one asked who held the light for her, who stood for the one whose job was standing still. She burned so long she half forgot the word for needing, and the night went cold and shrill.
So turn and look at me for
forgot that I get tired, that I break, that it's true.
Even the lighthouse needs a light.
I need one, I need you.
It's hard to say when you've been someone's north, to turn around and ask to be the sea.
To let the steady, lit up self go forth and whisper low, please keep a light for me.
There is no shame in it, my faithful one.
You held the dark so others wouldn't drown. Now let me be the shore you settle on. Now let me be the light when yours burns down. So turn and look at me for once. I need a light here too. I've been the one that doesn't move so long. I forgot that I get tired, that I break, that it's true.
Even the lighthouse needs a light.
I need one, I need you.
To know the dark,
They say you must go dark, go without sight, and find it blooms and sings. So I'll go dark a while and you be the spark, and we'll trade the way the turning seasons bring. Two lights now on two shores across the bay, each one the other's fixed and burning sign. Neither always strong, but come what may, you keep a light for me, and I'll keep mine.
I never saved a jar, I never flew. I read about the ones who chase the green. Across the colder years, the saving too, and told myself I'd never go or seen. Then one March night, insomnia and tea, I stood at my own window, half asleep, and something moved up north that shouldn't be. A faint green wash above the rooftop sweep. It came to my own window on its own. A quiet green, not book, not chased, not earned. I didn't cross the world, I stood at home. And all the wonder I'd been saving for returned and found me from my own window unearned. The neighbor slept, the kettle ticked and cooled. A solar storm had wandered far to the south, travelers ruled. You had to earn just hanging by my house. I thought you had to go to see the rare. That wonder lived in airports far and books. But half of it is learning to be there, to stand at your own glass and really look. It came to my own window on its own. A quiet green, not book, not chase, not earned. I didn't cross the world, I stood at home. And all the wonder I'd been saving for it turned and found me from my own window unearned. The voyage isn't always crossing miles. It's having eyes that haven't gone to sleep. The green was there above the same old tiles for anyone awake enough to keep. So I don't envy travelers anymore, who save for years to stand out in the cold. The aurora found me at my kitchen door. The night I learned new eyes are worth the gold.
I'm the one who goes dark this time, not you. I feel it sliding over, cold and slow. The words go first, then color, then the blue. And you reach out, and I can't let you know. For years I was the one who'd stand and wait, who'd say it's just a shadow, hold on tight. Now I'm behind the dark and it's so late, and I have never said it from inside the night. So let me say it now, while I still can. Wait for me, I'm only crossed, not gone. There's something moving slow in front of where I am, but under it I'm make it right. But I have been the one who stood and stayed. I know the only thing that helps is this: not to be fixed, not to be afraid, just held while something passes, dark and brief. So let me say it now, while I still can. Wait for me, I'm only crossed, not gone. There's something moving slow in front of where I am, but under it I'm holding on. Still turning, still here, hold on. They told an old man once the earth stood still. He whispered to the floor, and yet it moves. I whisper it tonight against my will. I'm dark, and yet I'm turning, and it's true. So mark the calendar and don't despair. The shadow's wide, but shadows always pass. I'll come back new, I'll find you waiting there. And thank you for the waiting through the glass. I spent so long apologizing for the weeks I couldn't shine, the days I'd fade. I'd say I'm sorry coming through the door, for all the darker rooms that I had made. And I'd apologize for mine the same. The silence stretches the retreating tide. We met each other's dark with so much shame. Two people sorry for the way they're made. But the moon never apologized for going thin, for going black. It just turned, and no one asked it why. It didn't beg the night to take it back. We exist as we are, and that at last is enough. So I'm not sorry for the dimming now. I'm only honest, here's a darker week. You don't need my apology, just how to wait and not to flinch, and let me speak. There's a freedom when you stop the sorry song, when phases are just phases, not a sin, when no one in the house has done her wrong by dimming them, by slowly filling in. But the moon never apologized for going thin, for going black. It just turned, and no one asked it why. It didn't beg the night to take it back. We exist as we are, and that, at last, is enough. Forgiving thing we've ever seen. So let us dim without a sorry word, and fill again without a need to prove. We exist as we are. We finally heard, and like the moon we do not apologize. We move. My grandmother wrote letters to the air, to a sun the war had swallowed, never found. She'd read them to the window, to nobody there, and fold them back and never make a sound. She died before I learned to understand. A box of them turned up behind a shelf. I read them 20 with them in my hand, and felt the thing she'd sent arrive itself. I was the one who heard the message with no name. She sent it out for nobody, each word, and 40 years it came. The letter found me all the same. She wasn't writing me, I wasn't born, but something in the reaching crossed the years. The signal doesn't need to know it's morn. It only needs to travel and find ears. So everything we send into the dark, not sure it lands, not sure there's anyone, is drifting like a probe, a faint gold spark toward a someone later, not yet done. I was the one who heard the message with no name. She sent it out for nobody, each word, and 40 years it came. The letter found me all the same. What you send out goes seeking to, they say. The way what seeks you turns and seeks you back. read them to the window, to the cold. You won't be there to know they carried on, but someone someday opens what you told.
They built a ship and gave it one gold disc, a hello pressed in grooves for no one's ears, and shouted past the planets all at risk, to drift and maybe drift 10,000 years. No one out there promised to reply, no hand to catch the bottle in the black. They wrote it like a prayer into the sky and let it go, not waiting for it back. So I sent it anyway, the words I'd never get to say out past the place where answers come, into the dark, into the hum. I sent it anyway. Father letters after death, addressed in no street, sealed and never mailed. I read them to the window under breath, and felt somehow the silence had not failed. For love that asked for nothing in return is still a kind of signal, still a light. It doesn't need an ear, it just has to burn and travel like a record through the night. So I sent it anyway, the words I'd never get to say out past the place where answers come, into the dark, into the hum. I sent it anyway. Where there is life, there's something hope can hold. So write the letter, sing it to the air, address it to the dark, and let every word we send is meant to land somewhere. Some we send because we have to anyway.
Every night I set it on the sill, the little flame, the saucer worn and white. The street's gone home, the house is gone so still, and still I strike the match against the night. He used to say he'd find his way by light. Whatever door I left a candle in, the door's still here, the hinge, the latch, the night. But 30 winters now he hasn't been. It's the same small fire I'm keeping, the same small gold against the glass. And out beyond the rooftop sleeping, 1,000 bigger fires pass. The same small fire, it does not ask. My daughter says the wax is just a waste, but no one's coming gently like it's kind. I let her speak, I do not change my pace. Habit is a way to keep a mind. For what is any star but someone's match, struck long ago and burning down the dark? A light let out with nothing left to catch, still traveling, still keeping someone's mark. It's the same small fire I'm keeping, the same small gold against the glass. And out beyond the rooftop sleeping, 1,000 bigger fires pass. The same small fire, it does not ask. Maybe he sees it, maybe he is gone. Maybe a light's a light and that's enough. I spend my evenings this way, one by one, and how I spend them is how I love. So set me by the window when I'm old. Let someone strike a match the day I pass, and let it burn, the small against the cold. The same small fire